Alright, I'm sending this video out to my young brothers and sisters, to basically somewhat cry out to them to start looking inside themselves and realizing who they are as an individual. Even outside of that, who they are as a person, even as a mere mortal, for say. I don't think that today's youth really take advantage of an opportunity to exercise their true given talents, their true given gifts, to even take in consideration the value of life. I mean, I'm highly moved by all the violence, all the negativity, and preferably the black on black crime. Listen, I'm calling out to my brothers, all the brothers who had an opportunity to play the streets, to play the bricks, as we call them, and been down the road, that toxic road of destruction, and has made it out. And in today's time, right now, in today's time, have their sanity because of the fact that they've learned from a lot of their mistakes, and now today they choose a different path. So from state to state, city to city, I'm asking my brothers who today have a little awareness, something that they can offer the young brothers in the neighborhood, the young sisters in the neighborhood who are following this fad of emulating styles and that image of gangster and thug life. Listen, I mean, it's sad. It's not only sad, but it's sickening. And a lot of people outside of that structure, they want to basically try to deal with you young people hands off, at a distance. We don't understand them. We really don't want to deal with them. They don't want anything out of life. Let them get down that path that they select, the path that they choose. But that's not the right way. That's not the right way, simply because I'm quite sure those who might say that, they had some trials in their life as well. They had some obstacles that they had to overcome as well. And if it wasn't from the people that they had in their life to encourage them or instill any type of values within them, where would they be? Alright, so the reason why I'm saying this is because my name is Kwaji. I've worked endlessly in this community, Jersey City, Hudson County community, working with the youth of this community, gangs and everything outside of that, to try to help them to be able to tap into those valuable tools such as self-love, self-preservation, to boost their self-esteem, to exercise their uniqueness, their gifts, their talents, their God-given gifts and talents. You know, this is something that I find that is highly motivating, and it's important for our young kids to be able to tap into that asset that will give them an opportunity to feel a little better about themselves, and instead of allowing society to substantiate who they are as a person. And that's that peer pressure that we talk about, where our young brothers and sisters don't feel highly of themselves unless they're being told by one of their peers that you're that guy, you're that dude, because of the fact that you sell drugs, or you gangbanging, or you commit robberies, or are you running out there and you can bust your gun and all this old craziness. It's madness. It's sickening. But I'm going to say one thing. I understand the cycle. I understand the cycle simply because I was part of the cycle. I was part of that same cycle, dealing with a void that I didn't realize I even had. An empty void within me because of the fact that I felt as though I didn't have my father in my life, which was at that time the male role model that I wanted to be in my life at that time, wanted to have knowledge of, wanted to know. Unfortunately, he was suffering from that toxic lifestyle himself. Actually didn't come into my life until I probably was about 25 years old. And before that, I lived a highly toxic lifestyle. Just about name it, I done it. And I'm going to tell you just quickly what saved me. I actually died in a jail cell. I can remember being on the wing of a jail and watching all the old men on the unit running around talking as if they were 20 years old, running around with the mentality, the lingo, the language, speaking the same language as a guy 18, 19, 20 years old. I mean, the exact same intellect, talking about the things that they're gonna do when they leave and the things that they did prior to getting there, and all of it wasn't nothing but war stories. It wasn't nothing but a has-been building the image of themselves to make somebody impressed. And it made me sick to my stomach. It made me so sick to my stomach that it drew my emotions. It drew me so deeply and so emotionally that I can remember going into my cell, dropping down on my knees and praying like I never prayed in my life. Now this was something new to me, because anytime that I've been incarcerated or went in, I went there and I just basically winged the time, working out, meaningless conversation, little board games here or there, you know, just basically winging the time like everybody else. But this particular time, like no other, I seen things differently. And one old guy in particular, running around dressed like he was 20 years old, probably had to be about 60 years old. He moved me so much, he was probably the main reason why I went into my cell and dropped to my knees. And I had to cry out to God and ask him to help me, to take away the desire and the taste of the lifestyle in which I was living. Because I can remember going there and the young boys calling you big bro. I can remember going there and the young boys calling you unk. And I knew that if I kept coming, I'd be just like the old dude with the young guys calling me pops. I didn't want that. Emotionally moved by it, I cried out on my knees, and I drew emotions as I prayed, and I begged God to help me take the taste, take the desire of this lifestyle away from me, that I shall desire it no more. And when I rose from my knees, I could remember the feeling as if a burden was lifted away from me, as if someone just took 500 pounds of cement that just fell on my back and pulled it up off me and relieved me of the pain that I was going through. I knew that I received it. I knew that I received everything that I asked for. So after washing my hands and washing my face, I went back out onto the unit. And when I got back out on that unit, my vision changed. Everything about me was changed. When I looked onto the unit, I could remember looking at all the young brothers on the unit, and immediately I began to feel personally responsible for every young brother on that unit. I felt responsible for them being there. I felt so responsible for them being there that I could remember tears coming from my eyes as I watched them run amongst the unit doing meaningless stuff. Laughing and joking and playing around with each other, some playing cards and just doing nothing with their time. And it saddened me. From that moment, I vowed that I will be personally responsible. I'll take on the responsibility of educating my young brothers and sisters and keeping them from going down the road that I went down. And I'm talking about a road of jokes, geeses, being shot down unconscious in the hospital, not knowing whether I was alive or dead. Coming up out of that state of mind, hitting the streets again and running and robbing again. 2 weeks out the hospital after being shot up committing a robbery, found myself in a major city committing another robbery. Barely healed from my wounds. Sickening. So I could understand being caught. I could understand being caught up in the grips of a lifestyle that got you by the fat part of the behind and just don't want to turn you loose. I could identify with that. But I also could identify with the change. I could identify with having a desire to not want to live the same way no more. I can also identify with wanting it so bad that I begged Almighty God for it. And I can remember trusting in Him and believing that I received it. And from that moment on, I was freed. So I give this gift that was given to me to you young brothers and sisters today, and I ask you to stop for a minute. Take a look at yourself. Look at your circle. Look at the people around you. Understand that affiliation brings on simulation. Understand that birds of a feather flock together. Understand that if you tell me the 4 people that are the closest to you, I'll tell you exactly who you are. Understand that you have to be conscious of people, places, and things. If you hang out in a barbershop long enough, eventually you're going to get a haircut. So understand that your surroundings, the people that you hang out with, the places you go, the things that you do are very important when it relates to who you are as a person. When it relates to your personality, your character, you have to understand how important it is. 3 tools applies to you, me, and everybody else, people, places, and things. I go around positive people in positive places, and I try to commit to positive things. Do the same, and you'll see that your life will change. Utilize a major tool called consequential thinking. Consequential thinking allows you to consider the consequences of your acts before you commit. And if you take just a little time, takes no more than 5 minutes for you to give thought to an act that you're about to commit, and the chances of you making a positive decision in difference to a negative one is greater. It has a greater percentage of you doing the right thing and difference to you doing the wrong thing. But acting on emotion, moving on impulse and instinct, when somebody introduces you to something that's negative, can lead you to destruction. It can lead you to a penitentiary. It can lead you to somebody's substance abuse facility, or it can leave you with a toe tag. You talking to a brother that experienced 2 out of 3 and was a hairline away from the 3rd. You can find stitches on just about every part of my body. The things that I've been through. The madness that I've seen. And the most of the people that I've rubbed shoulders with, they're not here anymore. Some of them are down the penitentiary, been there about 30, 40 years. And they no telling when they might see the streets. Understand that if you do not make the decision of consequential thinking, you do not know how your life will turn out from one minute to the next. You can leave your house with your freedom today. Tomorrow you could wake up in somebody's jail cell facing a charge of murder. En route to a judge where you could be standing in front of him and he's going to be offering you 25 to life. Is it worth it? Is it worth it waking up with a bunch of men every day who are nothing but war stories? A number, a has-been. Most of them talking about the same thing that got them in there. It's basically the same thing that they're going to do when they get out. They just think they're going to do it smarter. Same acts produced the same results. Trust me, change some things. Start changing some things. Change the crowd around you. Change the people around you. Change your mindset. Change your heart. Your heart and your mind must run in sync. They must become one. You can't have your heart saying do one thing and then your mind saying doing another. Doesn't work. This is from my heart. This is because that passion that God gave me the day that I died in a jail cell, I am now giving to you, keeping my word and vowing that I will give it to as many young brothers and sisters as God allows. I'm the author of several books that are also directed towards all my youth and their families to help encourage them in a more positive and constructive life. You'll see me on multiple videos attempting to reach out and save the lives of my young brothers and sisters and reconstruct the families that love them the most. Signing out. Kwaji, better known as Big Kwa. Love you. See you next time.